are going to do a M35 test. One of the things you need to know is that each test that we do, we have 480 high voltage, we got a 240, and then we also have a single phase 240 and a single phase 115. Every one of those have a different power cord. This one is a 240, we made it 240. You see how we have everything's all hooked up for the 240 right here on the transformer. And here is the power cord.
How do you know it's 240?
240 because you have this one, which is the number 2 wire. You have it in the 3rd spot. This is the wire. It's hooked up underneath. This one is always on the very tip top, which is in the 4 spot. It actually goes 1, 2, 3, 4. This wire always stays on number 4. This one determines on the voltage that you are wanting, that is coming through the power. If it's 208, you put it in the 3rd spot right here. If it's 240, you put it in the 2nd spot, which this one is. If it's a 480, you put it in the number 1 spot. This, yeah, it's all determining on the power that's coming in. It's going to be 240. We have the cord right here, which you can see on top. We marked it. Also, everyone has the different types of prongs right here. So this is the 240, and what we are going to do is in order. Please do this in order. We got a flathead screwdriver, and we are going to hook the power up absolutely last. That is important because if you hook this up to the power and you grab these, well, Carlos is going to be hiring another employee. Now you got wires, these are a little bit dirty, but this is red, this is black, and this is, believe it or not, it's white. It's just a little dirty. It does not make any difference to how you hook it up to the machine. But I always like doing it red on top. This is just my preference. Hook that right there. Then I usually grab the black one. Hook that in the middle. And then the white one goes on the very bottom. Which is actually 1, 2, 3. And then the ground, you hook the ground to the mounting bolt right here. This is where you're going to hook the ground to. Okay, now it is safe for you
make sure it's
to
off,
hook
right?
the power up. Yeah, always make sure it's off. Always make sure it's off. And now it's safe to hook up the power. The power will be hooked up to the testing power system that we have here. The very top, as you can see, is a 240 VAC, which stands for voltage, but this right here, with the 1 and the 0 with the cross in it, that means single phase. This is a 240 VAC 3-phase. This is a 480 3-phase. Now that's a 3-phase machine. We're using 240 volts, 3-phase machine. This only will plug into this. It will not plug into here because the prongs are different on every single one. It's a safety issue. Okay, and then give it a quick twist so it won't fall out. Now what we're going to do is we have a wire, which is a jumper. You go ahead and turn this on here. That noise you heard is the brake going on, which is a good thing to hear. Sometimes you'll be able to get so close you can't even hear the brake, but this time we did. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to open up the machine on 7 and 9. The 7 goes right here, the 9's right here. The machine is on and it's going forward. Everything's working beautiful. And you can see that you're opening it by right in here how this goes in. You see how the button is right here on the outside when it's not no command, no nothing. You can see how it's gone pushed in right there.
This is a contactor. This is the open side of the contactor. That's the closed side. So open side, closed side.
Okay. Now, the funny thing is, got that? Okay, here we go. Now, it did go quite a bit, which is stopped right there. As just do a little quick and push this out right here so you can see it. How's the cord right there?
You're okay.
Okay. Just adjust the cam real quick because we were there for quite some time. So we're just going to adjust the cam real quick so we do not have to sit here all day. Okay, so now we know that it opens. The open cam hits the micro switch and it stopped. Perfect, exactly what you want. Now the test we're going to do is we're going to grab a Phillips screwdriver right here. We're going to take and we're going to test the current sensor. The current sensor only opens the gate, so you have to close it, which we are going to close by putting the jumper on 8 and 10 to close it, and then we're going to activate the current sensor, and the current sensor should, working properly, reverse the gate and open it up. So here's 8 and here's 10. Now we're going to twist it all the way counterclockwise, both of them. You can see the red button hit. The operator went in reverse. That's perfection right there. Open that up, and then we're going to open this up. The reason why we turn it all the way clockwise is because this has to be fuel adjusted. If the gate is a very heavy gate and we adjust everything here, the operator will sense it. If it's very heavy, it'll sense it through the current of the motor, and it won't. The gate won't function, and then Carlos gets phone calls all hours of the night. So now that that works, what we are going to do is we're going to do this again, 8 and 10. Closing. We are going to pull the clutch, and what that does is not allowing the cam to go around. Two things: we get to test the clutch to make sure when you pull the clutch out, everything moves freely, everything is fine. And we also are testing the 1 minute timer, which is up here in the corner. Now remember, when you do this, please stay all the way. As you can see, these gears are turning, the output sprocket will turn, and if your fingers are anywhere in here, it can just be very bad.
That timer is set up for how long?
1 minute.
1 minute. So we cannot let it run for 1 minute.
And 1 minute is excruciating.
We also do, during this test, we also like to burn the clutch.
But since our cameraman is the clutch burner, we're not going to have him do two things, because being around a machine with moving parts, always be aware of that. Okay, now we got that, we're going to push the clutch in. And we're going to hit 8 and 10 again. Right here. And this should go all the way around. You can see how the cams are moving right here, but please be careful with everything moving around. The cam just hit the micro switch, went off. Perfect.
All right. And
that is how you test an M35.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Absolutely.
How do you know the difference? Can you physically know the difference between a single phase and a 3-phase?
One of the major differences, there's two major differences. One is that the transformer right here, matter of fact, since we're going to be poking in there, let me turn all power off. Turn that off and take the plug out. Okay, one of the major differences is the transformer. Single phase will not use a transformer, because it's when the power's coming in at 115, it will stay 115, or it comes in at 240 and it stays. So this transformer will not be here. You'll have actually a relay and a timer. Second difference is on the motor. You will have a, what do you call that again?
Capacitor.
Capacitor. I always want to say condenser, but it's a capacitor right here. You always have a capacitor right in front, and those are the two major differences of a single phase to a 3-phase. And there's another difference is that we usually have a auto closer. Well, not usually, sorry about that. If we put an auto closer in, an auto closer would be right here in this area here. There'll be a timer and there'll be a relay. And this one does not have an auto closer, so that's good for us.
Yeah, and it's the auto closer is a timer that once the gate is open, after a certain amount of time, the gate will close.
Yeah, all depending on how much time you want to put it on the timer.
Right. In this case over here, we don't have it because this customer puts their own auto closer.
Yes.
We call it auto closer timer.
Ours is better.
And and in ours is we don't for this machine we don't use it.
No.
And this is one of his machines. So anyway, that concludes our test procedure.